When they told me that I had to pick between my faith and my job, that was a no-brainer, and I stood up and fought. I grew up here. I was born here in Bremerton, Washington. I was a pretty bad kid when I was growing up, and I was always in trouble. That's one of the reasons why I think I was a pretty good coach, is because I could really relate to these kids, and there's nothing that they've gone through or going through that I haven't seen or gone through. I graduated from Bremerton High School. So the athletic director, he just kept pounding me about, coaching. When they offered me a job and I went home and talked to my family, I had a lot to think about, and I was flipping through the channels about midnight, and this football movie came on, and Facing the Giants, and I've never experienced a moment like that in my life where I had a prayer answered just like that. And I made a covenant there that, just like in the movie, I'm going to give you the glory after every game, win or lose. I started praying by myself on the 50-yard line. I don't remember anything about the first time I took a knee, because it was not a big deal. It was just me going out there and taking a knee by myself and giving thanks for what the players just did, and kind of being in awe and being part of it. The prayers, how long they were, I would say probably average 8 to 12 seconds. I mean, I'm not a great prayer guy. It was really, thank you, God, for what these young men just did on the field, and thank you for letting me be a part of it. It was about 6 months when the kids asked me what was going on, and Coach, what were you doing out there? And I said, well, I was just thanking God for what you guys did. And they asked, well, can we join you? And said, this is a free country, it's America, you can do whatever you want to do. I started the prayers in 2008, and they told me at the beginning of the 2015 season to cease doing it. Originally they said, we want you to just stop praying with the kids because it could cause some kind of controversy, somebody could be offended. It was really simple for me to agree with them and say, that's not a problem. I never prayed with the kids ever again.
And so eventually it came to a head late in October when the school district, the superintendent emailed the state superintendent here in Washington saying, hey, look, this has now turned into a case of a coach wanting to pray by himself. He did that, and they said they wouldn't even allow that. If he did it one more time, he would be suspended. He was, and then he was fired. He was in his file. They said, do not rehire Coach Kennedy for the next season.
High school football coach Joe Kennedy lost his job in 2015 after he defied an order to stop praying at the 50-yard line after games.
That high school football coach suspended for praying on the field after games.
A fight for faith in Washington State after a Washington school district forbids a high school football coach from praying before and after his games.
I decided to file the lawsuit after I realized that I was not going to be able to win this by myself. There was no way I could talk to the school district anymore. Their lawyers said I was not to be in any contact with the school or anyone at the school unless it was through the lawyers. When their lawyers got involved, I knew I needed help. I'm not equipped to handle legal battles, and that's when First Liberty stepped up and stepped in and helped me navigate through those.
Coach Kennedy was fired because he wanted to take a knee in private prayer by himself at the 50-yard line in view of other students.
The only thing I'm asking the Supreme Court is that I get to be a coach and I get to thank God afterwards.
They're deciding a very narrow question, which is whether or not someone can be fired from their job if a football coach engages in a private prayer on one knee at the 50-yard line. If that's sufficient to terminate somebody, that's the question before the court Worst case scenario is Coach Kennedy doesn't get to go back to coaching and care for those kids and do what he does so well on the sidelines every Friday night and then get back out on that field. The best case scenario is that a coach is a coach again and able to train men to meet a mission and to be able to, after that game, go to the middle of the field at the 50-yard line and take a knee in private prayer, as he always has.
This legal battles, it's worn on me. I mean, I'm a little bit grayer, and it's been really tough. But, you know, in the third and fourth quarter of a football game, you got to keep going. I don't care how tired you are. I don't care how painful it is. You just got to keep going, and you got to finish. There's still time on the clock. That's what I've always coached, and now I have to actually live by it. If I could go back, would I take a knee? In a second. There'd be no doubt in my mind I would still do it, even if I had to go through all this again. Giving up your faith, it's not something I'm going to give up on, and I'm not going to give up on the fight for everybody's rights. Nobody should have to worry about being fired for their faith.